Please welcome to the stage for her third annual State of the City Address, our Mayor, the Honorable Dana Ralph.
We have got to say one more huge thank you to our honor guard, to Ace, and to our fabulous dancers from Kent Elementary. This is why I have so much faith in this community. You guys, these are our kids, and they are incredible. Holy cow, they're amazing. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I am so ready to celebrate something. Anybody else with me, right? We're going to talk about good things. We're going to talk about positive things, and we're going to celebrate what this community is and who we are as a city. And I am so glad that you all joined me here tonight. Council President Troutner, members of the City Council, elected officials from all around the region. I am looking out and seeing so many of our neighboring cities, our local electeds. Most importantly, residents of the City of Kent. I want to welcome you to my third State of the City Address. It's hard to believe this is number 3. And I want to thank you all so much for being here tonight. It is truly an honor to be able to present to all of you tonight, as I truly believe we are partners in this journey. 26 people before me have served as mayor of this great city. Some of them inherited good conditions. Some of them inherited less than ideal situations. The reason our city has grown and thrived isn't because of the person that sits in my chair. It's because of the community that we have had the distinct honor to serve. This community is one of resilience, one of character, and clearly, by this building we are standing in, one of innovation. We've made it through our darkest days together, developed our solutions hand in hand, and come out victorious on the other side. I'm here tonight to provide you with a very authentic and honest conversation. I promise the speech isn't going to be full of fluff and all kinds of empty promises. I don't have a fancy PowerPoint. I've got a lunar lander. This State of the City is going to be about the work that we've done together and the real challenges that we face going forward. It's about the path that we must take to create a sustainable Kent for all of us. I'm going to start by thanking an extremely important group of people. If you are a city employee, please raise your hand. Look around. These are the people that I am honored to work side by side with every single day. I want to thank you for being here tonight, and I want to take a moment to recognize you in a very honest and sincere way. From our frontline staff to all of our directors and everybody in between, every single one of you plays a critical role in making our city run. I know what it's like to see a city employee work on a holiday, to miss a birthday or a family event. I have seen firsthand, honestly firsthand, when they get called out in the middle of the night because there is an emergency. And those emergencies are everything from traffic issues to fire hydrants being run over to police emergencies, you name it. They happen in our city, and there is a dedicated IT emergencies. There's a dedicated group of people that have committed themselves to you as citizens. They could work anywhere. They're that talented and that skilled at what they do. But you know what? They picked Kent. They chose you as our residents to work for. I want all of our city employees to know that I see you every single day doing the work that you do, and it matters to me. I am grateful for the time you spent learning your skill, the dedication that you have shown to constant improvement, and the loyalty that you have dedicated to our residents. When I say we couldn't do this without you, I mean that. We could not do the work we do every single day for the residents and businesses of this city without every single one of you, and I want to say thank you. Little fact, there are 281 cities and towns in Washington state, and again, I want to thank my colleagues, my local electeds from all around the state of Washington. But I'm going to brag a little bit. I am pretty sure that out of those 281 cities, no one else has this cool of a backdrop for their State of the City address. I want to thank Blue Origin so much for making this happen. I'm pretty sure we are the first public event to ever be held in this space, and that's an amazing thing. I want to thank Blue Origin's CEO, Bob Smith. I know Bob's here someplace. The CEO, Terry Benedict, and the entire team for making this a reality. And I really want to thank Edmonds and Caitlin, Jeff, Mark, Gus, who flew in from Washington, D.C., Jordan, and so many others that made this possible and opened up Blue Origin for this public event. You are all amazing and an asset to Blue, but you are an asset to our community, and I am grateful for that. We have been strong partners, and I think that's We have been strong partners with Blue Origin since they came to Kent, and I look forward to continuing that partnership for years to come. We are here at Blue Origin tonight because I wanted you all to see what the Platinum Standard looks like in our community. There's nothing better than this, and I am so proud that they have chosen to call Kent home, and they're committed to making this their worldwide headquarters. I don't know, universe-wide headquarters? Does that just made that up, but it seems fitting. Founded in the year 2000, Blue's mission is to be able to take people into space, and by exploring and thriving in space, we can protect our planet, right? We can protect this planet that we live on because we can do things beyond here, and I think that that's an extremely important mission. I'll tell you that my staff keeps volunteering me to go into space. If Blue asks, I'm not saying no. I love you all, but oh my goodness, can you imagine getting to go into space? The really important thing is that Blue Origin is a top-notch company, and they are bringing excitement to all of you around STEM and space, right? This is something real that you can hang on to, and you can know you can do this. By the end of the year, Blue's gonna have 4,000 employees. They're currently hiring something like 25 people a week. Stop and think about that. These employees, they're not all rocket scientists. They're administrative professionals, accountants, custodians, security professionals, engineers, machinists, and everything in between. All of them are paid a living wage, and they have benefits, and many of them are coming from Kent, right? That is something we need to be super proud of. Blue has a really cool program. Some of you might know about it, but it's called Club for the Future. And it's an opportunity for employees to volunteer in our community. So taking everything that they do and know about that happens here at Blue Origin and getting it into our schools and our different activities that our kids are involved in. They have kids fill out postcards with their vision of the future, and then Blue flies those postcards into space and then brings them back. It shows our students that they have a place in the space race, and it inspires them to think about STEM, right, and all the things that that brings. Most importantly, it shows them that anything is possible. Thanks to Blue Origin, every Kent School District student recently had the opportunity to fill out one of those postcards. They dropped them off and picked up the postcards at every single school in the Kent School District. This is a pretty major undertaking, and I'm pretty sure that all happened in 2 days. It was we need to do this, we need to figure it out. They worked with my office, we got them out to the school district. They came and picked them up. I want to say thank you to Blue for adopting our kids and showing them that the sky is not the limit. Their future is limitless. Let's talk a little bit about this building that we're in. So Blue Origin came into my office, I want to say it was a year ago, November, and they were really excited. They said, we're going to build a building. What they didn't lead with was, and we want to have it done in a year. All of this done in a year. This was a farmland. This was a wetland, pasture, all those things. I was listening to Terry Benedict at the grand opening, and he said that it might have I immediately said, of course, we should do this. And it might have been because they brought me a business card that had been flown into space. The first time we met, we exchanged business cards like you normally do. And Terry walked into my office and he's like, here, I want to give this to you. And it's this really cool plaque that says, it has my business card in it, the flight that it was on, how far, how fast it went. I was a little bit awestruck, space struck, I don't know. So he said, we're going to build this building, we're going to do it in a year, not a problem, right? And I went, oh, okay. I'm positive my economic and community development team went, okay. But guess what? Our teams at the City of Kent, Economic and Community Development, Public Works, our legal department, everyone at the city said, you know what, we're going to figure out how to say yes. That is so important to me, that our city knows how to get to yes, right? It's easy to throw up roadblocks. It's easy to say, yeah, I don't think we can do that, or here's the 52 reasons that any government says no. At the city, we embrace the idea of getting to yes, and that is extremely important to me. So we embraced that idea, we said yes, and Blue Origin held their Christmas party here in December. It's like 11 months from start to finish, which is pretty amazing for this facility, right? We've all watched it go up and thought, what's going on in there? And I tell you, I may have caused more than one traffic jam. I'm driving by really slow and looking, and very excited to be here to help them celebrate that Christmas party. I am so proud of everyone involved for taking on complex situations and finding a way to get to yes. We told Blue yes, they ran with it. 11 months later, they opened the doors to this facility. This project obviously will go down as one of the things I am the most proud of being your mayor, is being able to have this happen in our community. Before the building went up, I heard lots of Blue employees say, oh, I don't want to be the one that ends up in that building, because it's hard to figure out what it looks like on the inside from the outside. At the Christmas party when we were walking around, I heard a lot of conversation of people saying, how do I get myself in this building, right? They're located in their facilities and they wanted to be here, and that's a testament to that innovation and design and the commitment that Blue has made to their employees to be an exceptional company. This building, this partnership is an example of what happens when government and private industry decide to partner and do it in a way that is authentic and transparent, and when you're all working for an end goal that is the same. This is an amazing example of that, and we need to replicate this partnership in everything we do across the city. Because of this successful partnership, the city and its residents have received thousands of good-paying jobs right here in our community. That is a win-win-win. When you bring this type of innovation and booming business to a city, the need for amenities, things where the employees can go and they can shop and they can eat, they can go and grab a beer after work, those are all important. And it's also important that we have a safe community that all of our residents and the employees that come and spend their day here can be proud of. So there's one thing we're getting really good at in Kent. Well, there's a lot of things, but we're going to talk about one. It's economic development. In the past year, we've added 23 additional jobs in Kent. This is a huge number. Think about that. That's 2,300 new jobs that have come to this valley that are available to our residents or people from all around the region. My main goal will remain bringing good paying jobs to our residents. I want to make sure that all of our residents that are looking for a good job can have it right here in the Kent Valley, right? There's no reason that we send people out every day to sit in their cars or on the train or all those things. They should be able to live in our community and work in our community, and that is an absolute priority for me. In response to the large number of jobs we're bringing, the development community has stepped up in a big way. In 2019, we added 29 new buildings to the Kent community, including 857 high-end, market rate and above apartments, including Ethos in Midtown, as well as 12,000 square feet of new retail space. That is a place in our housing market that Kent did not have stock. So you figure these high-paying jobs are coming in. We want folks to live in our community, and that means that we have housing in all ranges. And so we have some gaps. We have a gap at the very low end, really service-intensive, important, hard-to-fill housing. We're working on that. But we also had a gap on the upper end. and we're working on that. And we've had development respond to that need, and they are building the kind of housing that our residents, filling those good paying jobs we've been talking about, are able to take. I am going to continue to fight for those jobs, and I'm going to continue to fight for quality development in our community. It's important that the rest of the region looks at Kent like I do every day. This is the place of opportunity and innovation, and all of those projects will help prove that to the rest of the region. I learned recently that the GI Joes or Joes up there that's been empty on the East Hill for a long time, that there is a tenant, it's been leased. We don't know yet who it is, so I can't surprise you with that, but that is good news, right? That means that more development is coming there. The old Kmart property in the valley that's been sitting vacant for so long, there is a very interested buyer. I do know who that is, but I can't tell you. I can promise you that it's an organization that will provide really great service to our community, and we will all be proud to have them here. So we keep kind of waiting, and as soon as they tell me that I can tell you, I promise you, you will all be the first to know. We've got light rail coming to the West Hill. We've started demolishing old buildings up there, and we're gonna see construction starting. That is so exciting. I can tell you way back years ago when I was on land use and planning and we were developing that midway sub-area plan, it's like, holy cow, 2024, it's never coming. Why are we talking about it? Why are we planning about it? Guys, it's here. That light rail system is going to be coming out of the ground, and you're going to be able to hop on it in Kent at Highline College or at Star Lake and take it all the way into Seattle. Take it to the airport. All of that means we are seeing development in every area of our city, West Hill, Valley, East Hill. We welcome these projects, the jobs that they bring to our community, and the new residents. We're going to have new housing opportunities, and we are going to have a whole new set of people to welcome into this community and make sure that we let them know that Kent is the place that we want them to be and that we support them. Boeing, the Boeing Space Center, I told somebody today, that's the place I learned how to drive, right? My dad took me down there and we drove in that parking lot. I don't know if it was legal, but that's what we did. They have let loose some of that property, and we're going to see some exciting new development there coming up out of the ground pretty soon. Our city council, and I'm seeing you all here in the front row, on Tuesday passed some, what I think is historic legislation. It's a sub-area plan for the industrial valley of Kent, right? For as long as we all can remember, everybody in this room, Kent has been the warehouse and logistics community. That is the purpose we served in the region. It served us really well for a long time until it didn't, right? State legislature changed the rules on us, and all of that tax revenue that came from those warehouses left. It went out around the state. We're losing a lot of money. So the council, economic and community development, through their vision, put a pause on things in the valley. We said, you know what, we're going to take some time and we're going to talk about what the next stage of the Kent Industrial Valley is going to look like. What is the legacy we all want to leave for the next generation? We call that Rally the Valley. Council voted on and approved Rally the Valley sub-area plan on Tuesday, and it is going to bring some of the most innovative projects to the Kent Valley that we have all ever seen. Now, extremely heavy lift for community and economic development because it may have been, hey, this should take us 2 years. Oh, no, wait, you've only got a year, so best to get busy. But it's an example of the city engaging the development community, engaging employees in this valley, and asking them, what do you want? What do you need? What do you want to see? What's missing? What can we do for you in a better way? For employers, how do we help you attract and retain employees? For employees, what kind of amenities do you want to see? Access to trails, a place to grab lunch. Maybe it's a daycare or dry cleaners. All those things that don't exist in the valley today, but will help us support what is coming next. And it, most importantly, will diversify our economy, right? We will not have all of our eggs in one basket. Thinking that's what happened to us. We had put all of our stake in warehousing. The rules changed. What's next? Now we know what's next, and it's called Rally the Valley, and I am extremely proud of the work that everyone has done to get us there. Also, just want to throw this in, can't forget that, it feels like years ago, but it was in 2019 that we stood up to Sound Transit, and we saved Dick Drive-In. burgers, strawberry shakes, y'all, they're protected. We're making sure that's happening. I know that it's a place that my family loves to go. I kind of look through the debit card and I'm like, somebody went to Dick's tonight. That's important. The other side of that coin, I don't know if you all are familiar with El Habanero, but that's that local nasty bar that was down there on Meeker. Yeah? So our police department joined together with a whole variety of agencies and we were able to shut it down. The message there is if you violate the law, if you serve liquor to minors, if you enable criminal activity in your establishment, we will take swift and harsh action and remove you from our community. It is not who we are. So we talked a little bit about this, about some of the amenities, that's a whole mouthful, that people want when they're at work. So Blue's a great example. When folks aren't in here building lunar landers and rockets that go into space, they need to get outside and have a place to recreate, settle down, get out on the trails. We have an extremely amazing parks department here in Kent. We have a world-class parks department, and we're going to continue to build on that. This last year in our parks department, right, planning is the key to everything. Right? If you don't have a plan, you don't know where you're going and you're never ever going to get there. Our parks department developed the first ever recreation plan, our first ever community engagement plan, and we updated our human services plan. All of those things mean that we have laid a foundation for, again, what our parks department is going to look like going into the future. You never get what you don't ask for. So we engaged our community in a lot of different ways over the past year, and we're able to develop those plans. And going forward, you are going to see those projects be built out, the services provided, all the things that as a community you've been asking us for. We also had a big win in some capital infusion. We've got some ongoing capital that we've invested into parks. So you're going to be seeing some pretty cool projects coming to Kent Memorial Field, Riverview Park, a lot of different places where we know that people want to get out, they want to be healthy, they want to hang out with their families, and that can all be done in our parks department. By creating these plans and making these investments, we can serve all of you, our residents, with the programs that you want and the equity that you deserve. It's important that you be able to do those things here in our community. Speaking of recreation and having fun, want to remind everybody again, so when we sat down to write the speech, it's hard to remember all the things that you've done in 1 year. And it's like, oh yeah, we did that. And so trying to make sure we incorporate it and then help remind you all of the work that's going on. Couple of things, the YMCA opened this year, right? Every single day it is full of families and kids and seniors who are taking classes or swimming or working out or cheering on a family member that's competing. Our high school swim teams compete there. It's an amazing place. We've got a great dog park up there and outdoor amenities, sports courts. It's a pretty cool facility, and I am super grateful that we have it here in our community. Second item I want to point out is a record that we recently set. Shower Center, right down there in our valley. There's a comedian, his name is Joe Coy. He came to Kent for 2 shows. In that first show, 7,750 people showed up. That is a record for that building. So much so that the next day we had another sold out show, right? That's that popular. So little side story, Joe Coy is from Tacoma, so he calls the Puget Sound region home. I had the wonderful pleasure at the first night show to go backstage and meet him, and he said, hey, I want a key to the city. Okay, so let me see how I figure that out. So I called Patrick, my assistant, up on Sunday night at 8 o'clock, and I said, I realize tomorrow's a holiday, and I realize you're supposed to be at home doing whatever you want, but can you meet me at City Hall, and can we make a proclamation and call it Joe Coy Day? So, because he's amazing, he did. We went to City, come on. Made the proclamation, went down with a couple council members, some friends of mine, the police chief, and we presented the key and the proclamation to Joe Coy. He took it up on stage, read the proclamation, told everybody how much he loves the city of Kent, and promised to come back, and he also said he might take me to lunch. So I think that that's kind of a win. The night after that, so we had 2 sold-out shows with Joe Coy. The night after that, we had a hockey game. And if you add up all those numbers, there's 22,000 people in that building in 3 days. We're extremely grateful to our partners in the Thunderbirds for bringing people to downtown Kent. We know that all of those people, whether they were there for the comedy show or the Thunderbirds came, they came downtown, they shopped in our stores, they ate at Kent Station or in one of our great restaurants in historic downtown Kent. That's a win for our entire community. There is no doubt about that. So my kids might say this to me all the time, but I am here to tell you that nobody can say that there are not fun things to do in Kent and places for our residents to have fun and visitors to participate in. He's over here looking at me like, I don't know about that. I'm telling you, there's a lot of good things going on in our city. I also may have promised not to call him out, so nobody look. A little bit of a serious topic, right? One of the most important things to new businesses or residents, if you stop and think about it, it's the question that we all ask ourselves: is our community safe? Right? That's important to everything that we do. My answer back to them is yes, but we can and we should do better, right? That is our goal, is to strive to do better in everything we do. And community safety is one of those places. We make laws for a reason. Not only do they aim to protect people, but they balance law and order in our community, creating not only a just and fair society, but creating accountability for those who violate laws, right? That is the importance of them. They provide both sides of the coin. They also create penalties for those who do not want you or I to have the safety and security that we all deserve, and for those individuals that disrupt our peaceful well-being in our community. At some point in time, politicians with good intentions, but possibly flawed programs, without consulting with the voters, and I've talked to a lot of you about this, decided that we were no longer going to enforce all of those laws here in King County. I want to be really clear. I believe in compassion, I believe in second chances, I believe in outcomes, and I believe in providing people with services for them to make their lives better. I believe in people. City of Kent has some amazing programs. We've done a pilot program in our DUI court in helping repeat offenders get their lives back on track and reintegrate into the community. The other side of that is I also believe that we need to balance compassion with accountability. When you don't balance those things equally, you create a system that is unfair, unjust, and honestly immoral, right? Those are the things that keep people doing the things that they need to be doing and handling things in a proper way. A system where some of us follow the laws and others don't doesn't create accountability on either side. If you stop and think, we've spent years protecting our kids from drugs. Despite a nationwide epidemic, we've had some successes on that front. But now we're talking about things like safe injection sites. I've always been really clear about how I feel about this. I will tell you that no matter where you do heroin, it's not safe. We need to provide the services to help people to stop doing heroin. That's important to me. Here in King County, somehow we have gotten to a place where it's okay to walk around with a little bit of meth or heroin or other drugs in your pocket. It seems to be okay to steal more than one car before we decide we're going to hold you accountable and prosecute. There are cases where assault, robbery, and theft are tolerated until someone deems it's the right time to prosecute. We know that our neighbors to the north and the south hold people accountable. We've lost sight of that here in King County. We need the state laws to be applied uniformly, just like they are in other places. I am not a lawyer. I don't play one on TV. I have never been a prosecutor, and I am not a judge. But it seems unfair to me that state laws are not enforced, or that they're not enforced here like they are in other places. Again, it's all about accountability. You shouldn't be able to steal a car without punishment. You shouldn't be able to sell drugs to our kids without punishment. You shouldn't be able to assault somebody without punishment. And again, balance, right? There has to be punishment and there has to be services available. Those two things go together. But if there's no accountability, we never get people into the place where they are accepting of those services. Think about the recent shooting in Seattle, right? And stop and think about that. One suspect had been arrested 44 times. Another one 21 times. They should not have been able to be out on our streets putting all of us in harm's way and committing murder. This is a failure of our justice system, plain and simple. It doesn't matter if you're a mayor, a police chief, a county prosecutor, or a judge. We all took an oath. We stood up in front of you all after you elected us, and we took an oath to serve and protect the residents of our community, and we all need to uphold that oath. No more deciding which laws we'll enforce and which ones we're going to ignore. I call on every elected and appointed official in the justice system to recognize that oath and to do better. Extremely proud of my South County colleagues, my mayors and police chiefs, because we have stood up together and we are calling for that accountability in our communities. We believe that South County deserves the respect, the accountability to uphold the laws, to make sure that people get the help that they need, but at the same time, we are worried about protecting our residents as well. There has to be a balanced approach, right? It cannot be all offender-centered. It has to be looking at both things, and the work that my South County colleagues and I are doing, I am extremely proud of and grateful for all of them for standing up together and making that known. So on the accountability side, a couple of examples of how we have done that here in Kent. Way back when I was running for mayor, so a couple of years ago, we talked about body cameras in Kent. I'm extremely proud to announce that after our successful pilot, at the end of last year, we rolled out body cameras to every single one of our uniformed officers in the city. That ensures accountability on both sides, right? We know everybody behaves better when they're on camera, right? You think about what you're gonna say, you think about what you're gonna do. And it's also a tool for transparency, which is extremely important to me. It lets every single one of our residents see what is happening in our community, what's happening with law enforcement, and it lets people see sometimes the bad behavior on the other side, right? Like, this actually happened, can you believe it? I've watched some of the videos, I'm like, holy cow, people said that. It's accountability. Another way that we've taken accountability in our community is through code enforcement. I believe that if you own property in our city, that you should be accountable for that property and recognize the impacts that you may be having on your neighbors. Right? We've all driven by those houses. Why is all that stuff in the front yard and what's going on there? And I have talked to residents who have said, you know what, I've invested in my property, I've invested in my home, and it is unlivable because the person next to me is choosing to not take care of it, collect trash, let people in that shouldn't be in there. We made a pretty significant move this year, and we transferred code enforcement from economic and community development into the police department. So we've added a step to that process. In the old process, we would send letters and fines and hope, and it was a very long, drawn-out process. There were penalties if you refused to comply. Now, in the new process, we give you those same chances up front, but if you don't do what you're supposed to, guess what? You go to jail. I've done this now several times, so I am not joking. I ran into one of the gentlemen that may have happened to. He's like, wow, I got to visit your jail. But you know what? The property got cleaned up really quickly. So that is the outcome. It's the accountability that then drives the outcome, and that has to be what we do in everything we undertake. I also want to talk, special shout out to our special operations unit in our police department. Used to be our bike unit. You see them riding around downtown Kent on bikes. They have been converted to a full-time homeless outreach team. This team of officers goes out regularly with our human services department, and you've heard Christine, at least Annette was in there, hopefully you saw her as well. And they do outreach to our homeless residents. They go into the camps and talk to folks. We, again, believe in accountability, right? That's not the place that you should be living, and how do we help you get to that next step? How do we get you into services, and how do we help you have a better life? The unfortunate side of that is the other part of their job is cleaning up of homeless camps. I know that you've all seen them, right? Because I get the emails. We asked finance to start tracking how much money and time we spend on camp cleanup. So it's our police department, it's our parks employees, our public works employees. I'm going to tell you not what any of them signed up for. Do not have a single parks maintenance person who said, this is what I applied for. We spend nearly $2 million a year cleaning up camps in our city. And it's not enough, right? You can all point to where you can drive around the city and you can see those camps and you can see the environmental impact. Just the fact that people should not be living that way. It's not okay. And we need to figure out how to do a better job. I have called on the federal, state, and county government to help us assist in this effort. Been talking to our legislators about how do we find money to clean up the camps while we're providing services. Again, it's that compassion and accountability all at the same time. We're going to continue working on it. It's a work in progress. There is no magic bullet, but you have my commitment to continue to make it an absolute priority in our city. Let's talk a little bit about crime. The reality is, and do not boo me when I say this, crime is down in Kent. That is a fact. Okay? I can look at you in the eye and tell you that in nearly every category, crime is down in our city. It doesn't matter when you're the victim of crime, right? If you are the person that has been victimized, I can stand up here all day long and tell you percentages about how things are down, the amazing work that our police department is, but when it's personal, and there's no way to take that away. We did a poll. We asked some of our residents what they think about public safety in Kent, and I can tell you that 75% of people said they would feel safer in Kent if we added more police officers. 56% of our residents said they would feel safer if we had substations in all of the neighborhoods in our community. West Hill, Valley, East Hill. You all spoke. We asked the questions. Thank you for participating, for those of you that took our call. And I'm going to tell you that I am happy to announce tonight that in the coming weeks, you will see Chief Padilla and myself announcing that we are bringing Proposition A back to the ballot and asking the City Council to put it out to the voters. With your support, and it's going to take all of us, we will add 30 officers to our community, dozens of support staff, including prosecutors, community education. We will embed mental health professionals in our police department to continue to do that crisis intervention and outreach. And we will open substations in all the areas of the city. You will see us in Panther Lake, East Hill, Valley, and the West Hill. But I need your help. I need all of you to help me carry this message that there is no place in Kent for crime. There is no time where we will tolerate it. We need all of you to come out and support us and vote for Prop A and tell your friends. Talk about why this is important. I feel like over the last couple of years, we have done a really good job at showing you that we are an accountable government, that we are a lean government, and I would not be standing in front of you asking for something if I did not truly believe it was in the best interest of this community. This isn't us just asking for money so we can spend it. It's asking for your help so we can make you a safer community. It is really, really important. One of our biggest challenges, we talked about a lot of challenges, but I got more. I'm going to keep going. One of the biggest challenges we face as businesses and residents is to keep up with our infrastructure and the growth. We've added all those jobs, we've added all those residents. That means we've got roads and water and sewer and all those things that we need to maintain. During the recession, when we talked about that warehousing money, when that all left our community, we had to put a lot of our road projects on hold. Put them on halt, said stop, we don't have the money to do them. We are slowly but surely catching up. We've made it a priority. We are putting money and investment into our streets. This year we were able to open the 224th Street Bridge. That's a huge project. I know that there's some of our neighbors from that neighborhood, and I'm going to tell you they're very happy that their back road is open again. You can get back and up and down the hill. Thank you. I think it's a really big deal, you guys. It's a huge project. We had many partners in that, funding partners. Our Public Works Department did an amazing job getting that done. It's a huge undertaking. It's a huge undertaking. Going to the west of that, 228th is still closed. We've got a few more months, but we're building a grade separation there. So you will be able to get from Military to Benson without stopping for a train. That's a pretty big deal in the Kent Valley. That corridor will connect the East Hill, I'm gonna make sure I'm pointing in the right direction, the East Hill to the Valley to the West Hill. It's important for our community, and it will eventually connect to the 509 expansion project, so that road that comes out around the back of the airport, something that we have been talking about. I tell you, my husband, when we were dating, we were like 16, he said, hey honey, someday that freeway, it's gonna go all the way to I-5. I still do not know why he knew that at 16, but he wasn't wrong. That's been in the plans for that many years. And it's going to happen. We got some good news that the legislature has decided to take those projects off hold and proceed with them. So we are going to see some great progress on those projects. Public Works Department also helps us with things like flooding. Anybody ever been in the Kent Valley? We had a 100-year storm event in December. It impacted the streets. It impacted our school that's down there in the valley. We had houses flood. The thing that I want to celebrate is that our public works crews worked 12-hour shifts all the way through that to make sure that we were keeping people safe so that they didn't drive through the flood. I'm telling you, I'm watching the news, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning, Channel 5 is down there, they've got this thing going and they say, it's not safe, you shouldn't drive through the flood, and there goes somebody driving through and they got stuck. We probably closed the road for a reason. We're working on it. We are working with the Corps of Engineers to get those kinds of situations so we can get them in our past. It's slow, it's the federal government, there's a lot involved, but know that we are dedicated and committed to making those changes happen, as well as our levees along the Green River. We do not want to see any flooding here in Kent. That same public works crew was providing my office with updates every 3 hours, night and day, so that we could push that information out to you. It's fine if we know about it, but we need all you to know about it, and it's really important that we have a way to communicate with you. Some of you may have noticed, if you are users of social media, we've changed our communication strategy since November. We've hired a new communications manager, and our shared philosophy is that local government should be your trusted friend. It's kind of counter to what most people believe, right? Ooh, big bad government. We want you to see us as your friend and a source of information, not as a one-way megaphone just pushing information out. We are working to build more authentic community engagement, feedback, and solicit your ideas and your input. We've changed our social media strategy. We've combined some real world talk. That's a mouthful. Just like saying it plain and simple with a whole lot of humor. Does anybody notice that we're trying to make you laugh? Some of our most popular posts were during the flooding. We're talking about something pretty serious. The valley is flooding, but there was a picture of an orca swimming down, what looked like Central. The thing about that is it helps people engage. It helps people realize that we're here and that we want to have fun with you. And at the same time, we picked up a ton of new followers, which means that there is a whole another group of people that are hearing our message. So when something serious happens, when there is something extremely important we need to communicate, we're not out there trying to build a relationship, right? We've already done that. We've got the groundwork. We've got people checking our social media on a regular basis because they trust us, because it's funny. And that really, really matters. We are also making extra effort in our outward-facing community events. So some of you know I host Coffee and Conversation, our police chief. We just did a vino with 5-0, right? I think that's worth that. There was a little bit of, are you sure? Do we really want to do that? But the whole idea is we want to engage people that don't normally engage. We love our folks that come to all of the events, but we also know that there's probably 129,500 other people that aren't. And the goal is to get those people to events. So we're trying all kinds of different things. Last year at the State of the City, I told you we were going to start a new program called catwalks. We did that. We delivered on that promise, and that's an opportunity for neighborhoods. I show up, our department heads show up, and we walk through your neighborhood. Talk about the things that are going right and the things that are going wrong. Should that car be parked on a lawn? Why is that person doing this in their yard? How come this green belt's not been maintained? We did that, and it was extremely successful. The feedback from those neighbors has been very, very positive, and it allows us to help tell a story. Yes, we can do that. No, we can't. Maybe together, come together as neighbors and work on something. In one of our neighborhoods, there was these islands in the middle of their cul-de-sac, and the question was, how come the city doesn't come and maintain that? Well, we got out our paperwork and said, because it belongs to you. The neighbors came together, and those little roundabouts are beautiful. There's flowers planted. They've taken care of them. It just took that conversation, and that is what we're committed to. Next year, we're going to do 6 of those. We're going to double the number of walks that we're doing. So if you are part of a neighborhood council and interested in having us all come out and walk through your neighborhood, we'll bring the water, and you show us what you got going on, and then we will work with you to get those problems addressed. We also launched Kent 101. That is our interactive civics class, and it has been an overwhelming success. So we opened up initially 25 spots, and we said, well, let's do 30. We had 65 applicants to this program. They're almost done with the first class, and it's a way for people to sit down and learn about what's happening in Kent government. All those things that you sort of take for granted, like, I turn my faucet on, or I flush my toilet, or I drive down the street and the traffic signals change, or, all of those things. We've been able to provide insight into our IT department and HR department, finance, legal, all of those things. And people have been, I think it's fair to say, they've been pretty surprised at all of the things that their government is doing for them. Every Wednesday, the folks come down. We have a class. We run it from 6 to 8:30. A lot of nights, because they have had so many questions, we're running to 9. I want to say thank you to all of my department directors and employees that have taken their evenings out to put those classes on. We are really, really proud of the work that's being done. Like I said, we've been able to show our residents things like the IT department and the technology and support that they provide, how finance monitors our spending and ensures that our projects are within budget, HR, how they provide the talented and specialized workforce that we all talked about at the beginning tonight, and legal, making sure that we are all staying on track and out of jail. Thank you. These are all important things, right? Participants have been extremely impressed with what they're learning, and we are going to do a debrief with them at the end and figure out what we can do to make it better next time. We want to offer that class twice a year. I also want to talk a little bit about our equity and inclusion series. Thank you to the City Council for putting that money into the budget. We have been able to bring nationally known speakers to Kent. We are the 10th most diverse city in the nation. I don't know how many cities and towns there are in the entire country, but that is a pretty impressive statistic. Our speakers have come in to talk about their culture and their perspectives, help our residents gain knowledge of who their neighbors are, and figure out how do we all come together, because we're all here trying to do the same thing, have good lives for our families, provide for them, have people that we can hang out with, and our hope is through that speaker series we're really providing people a point of connection and a point of understanding, and allowing us to celebrate that diversity that we have here in Kent. I am excited to announce a new initiative, right? Everybody kind of gets nervous. I know all the directors are like, oh my goodness, what is she going to commit us to? And got one for you. It's called Kent Serves. I know I'm looking for Brenda. I know that sounds like a familiar name, right? A couple of years ago, we had community members get together, and the idea was, how do we bring people together who want to volunteer and people that need volunteers? So we are going to take that on in 2020 as a city. Kent Serve will be a website that will launch this year and connect our residents with all of our nonprofit organizations and provide our residents with easy ways to connect, donate, and volunteer to those organizations. I get asked all the time, how can I get involved? What can I do? All of our high school students have to have volunteer hours. Sometimes we get that last minute call like, oh my goodness, I haven't gotten my form signed. What can I do? This website is going to be able to help folks make those connections. It'll help put all the opportunities in one place and allow our residents to kind of look at it like a shopping experience and find something to match them up with so that they can volunteer. It'll be like an online shopping cart. You'll be able to see the size of the commitment, how often, what the organization needs, and how you can help, and then provide you an opportunity to find that perfect fit for dedication, commitment, and work in our community. We are going to help match our residents with the perfect organization and opportunity. We've got so much good work happening in the community, I think just sometimes it's hard to find a place to talk about it, and that's the goal of that website. So we've talked a lot in 2020 about this being a year of clarity for Kent. We are focused on building a strong organization that can better serve you. Projects that have been almost completed, or we've been working through, or may have been stalled because of challenges we're getting them done this year. We're working hard to build a lean, efficient, and effective government for all of you. I'm extremely proud of the City Council for helping set a strong policy for us to work towards. One of the recent changes that they made was going to committee of the whole. So we used to have 5 individual committees that 3 council members would sit on. They would get all the information. So we had council members, and I was one of them for many years, that learned a lot about 2 focus areas. So you knew a lot about public works and a lot about economic development, but maybe not so much about parks, not so much about human services, not so much about public safety or operations. The council made a decision to go to this committee of the whole format, so now all of them, all 7 of them, hear the same information at the same time. They're able to have a conversation with each other about the topic, and I really do believe it will make them stronger policymakers, which means that that is a huge benefit to you as our residents of this community, and I want to say thank you to the council for making that choice. I believe it will enable all of us to be better decision makers, more data-driven in those decisions, and be more informed and engaged. Okay, you've heard me say this. You've also heard Mayor Nancy Backus from Auburn say it. I think there's a theme. Being your mayor, it's my dream job. There is no question. I could not be more blessed to be able to do this work for this community. I want to thank you all for the opportunity to do this. The faith and trust that you put in me every day to be your voice at City Hall and to represent you across this region means the world to me. Ensuring that we bring home results for the City of Kent is always my top priority in everything that I do. We have a lot of work to do in 2020, and it's going to take all of us together to get it done. I want to invite you all to take one last look around this building of our future, this platinum standard for business in Kent. This is a space creating thousands of good paying jobs. But if we want this platinum standard, if we want to build more of this, we have an enormous amount of work to do. You've heard tonight how we create a climate that allows opportunity like this to grow and thrive. We must support a robust park system. We must build the infrastructure that moves people and goods around this region from buildings to and from buildings like this, from to and from your homes. And we must double down and invest in a safer community. Our city staff is committed. Our city council is committed. I am committed to getting this work done for you. But I am also asking you to join us on this journey. Right, we've come full circle. This is a journey that we have to be on together. Engage with us, participate with us, tell us what's on your mind, and tell us what your vision is for Kent. Heard the saying that a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Here in Kent, I know if we all work together, if we come together as a team and we go on this journey together, we won't have any weak links. This is our community, it is our city, and it is collectively our time to lead. The state of your city is strong, but with all of us working together, it will only get stronger. 2020, let's get it done.